Hi there, and thanks for tuning in to the Drive Group Home Services podcast. It's Home Services Marketing Roadmap, and it is the best ways that we have found to help home services grow in the areas that they're most profitable, and it's the work that they're good at. So we're talking about how do I advertise my home service today is a common search for home services owners. We've been working with home services owners, home service business owners for 20 years, give or take. We've worked with all different verticals, from air conditioning, HVAC, electrical, plumbers, roofers, pest control, all kinds of window treatment companies, everything from just about every vertical in home services we have worked with, and we have most of the clients that we've worked with over the years. We're happy to say are still clients because we do a good job for them, and we're helping them grow their business. And so this podcast, this particular episode, is to satisfy people that are out there searching, how do I advertise my home service? You're trying to generate more business for your home service in your geographic area, get the right kind of customers, figuring out what the most profitable business is for you. So let's run through the top 10 ways that you can do that. So one is invest in local SEO. And local SEO is very different than traditional search engine optimization. When you're just targeting your area, in our area, it would be the two-county area of Volusia and Flagler County. We're in East Central Florida. And we're going to have a handful of municipalities that we know we're always going to target. It's going to be from sort of, the top of Flagler County, which is like, sort of Palm Coast area, to the bottom of Volusia County, which is going to be Edgewater. Those are the municipalities that we're trying to target. And you just get a list of those municipalities, and those are part of your keywords. And then the other thing that you need to do is you need to figure out what the services are that people are searching for and try to find a good grouping of keywords that matches what people are searching for, what's doable quickly, like what you can rank for quickly. There's sometimes certain things that are just so popular with everybody trying to search engine optimize it for it. Even in a local area, it can be difficult to rank for that quickly. So you want to try to find sort of low-hanging fruit that are sometimes maybe a little bit longer tail keyword, which is a longer phrase that somebody's going to search for. But it's somebody that has done their research. They're ready to pull the trigger and hire a home service company to do whatever it is the service that they're trying to get done. And so they're going to search for a very, very specific thing, and then possibly a near me search or a search. I'm sitting in Ormond Beach, so I'm just going to use that as an example. So it would be AC repair Ormond Beach, or AC repair near me. AC service company, HVAC service company, Ormond Beach, HVAC service company near me. Those are the keywords that you want to target when you're going after local SEO. They're going to be, you got to do your research, figure out what those keywords are. There's a million tools out there that'll do it. Some are better than others. They all seem like they're pretty good in one area or the other. Very few of them are good in all the areas. So you just kind of got to figure out which one is that you sort of like the best, and then really learn how to use it, because they'll all pretty much do what you need them to do. So that's the first thing. And of course, this is something that we do for a living. If you are of a size, we typically work with companies that are $1 million and up. $1 million to about 15 million annual revenue is our sweet spot. Give us a call. Go to our website, drivegroup.llc.com, fill out the form, and reach out to us, and we'll sit down and have a strategy session with you. And I can go through with you the specific things that you can do yourself if you want to. And of course, at that same time, we're going to talk to you about what we think we can do for you, but it's no pressure. I'm not a high pressure salesperson. we just want to talk to you. We know that if we talk to you and that we can sort of demonstrate that we can help you, there's a good chance you're going to hire us to do it for you. So, give us a call, or, go to the website and fill out the form and reach out, and we'll schedule something. So that's, I guess, enough pretty much on investing in local SEO when it comes to, how do I advertise my home service? So number 2 is optimize and use your Google business profile. This is something that you can get traction so much quicker by using your Google business profile. You have to have a website, so you have to search engine optimize, because both of these things work within the Google business profile. But if you think about your behavior when you're searching for a home services company, you're going to Google them. You're going to find their Google business profile, or you're going to Google the home service. Pest control, pest control companies near me, local pest control companies, or a local pest control company, Miami Beach or Tampa or Atlanta, Georgia, or wherever. You're going to read the reviews about that company. You're probably going to sort by newest. You're going to sort by relevant. You're going to sort by worst, probably best, worst. Then you're probably going to go to the website and you're going to look and kind of read a little bit on the website about what their services are, because you probably have a particular thing that you need. For instance, in the example, pest control, some pest control companies don't do rodents. They're just going to do insects and termites and bed bugs and things like that. Other ones do. Some of them just do rodents. So you're going to go to the website and you're going to try to figure out if they're going to solve your particular problem, and you're going to try to see if you like what their message is and stuff like that. And then you're going to call them, or you're going to fill out a form, or you're going to chat with them on if they have some sort of a live chat. That is typically the route that people take. So optimizing and using that Google Business Profile is a critical part in getting in those top groupings of the map pack. So optimize basically is the first part of that. And that means you got to claim your profile. I could do a whole video on how to claim the profile. It changes all the time. But I would absolutely say go claim your profile. We just did it with somebody. If somebody claimed it for you in the past, we see this pretty regularly. If you were working with, you had a marketing intern or something like that, and they claimed the business profile to an email address that you no longer have access to, that is not the end of the world. We just had a customer that had this problem the other day, and we reached out to Google. We asked them to send an actual paper postcard to their physical location. It came in a little over a week, and it had a 5 or 6 digit code on it. We went back into their Google Business Profile. We put that code in, and it granted us access to the Google Business Profile. So even if you feel like you're running up against a wall, if you've tried to claim the Google Business Profile and you haven't been able to do it in the past, give these guys, go through the process of trying to manually claim it with a postcard. You could do it I think sometimes you could do it with a phone call as well, but that's really difficult a lot of times for larger home service companies, because you may have multiple people answering the phone. You might have an answering service, and they're not going to know what to do when they get an automated call from Google that just gives them a 5-digit code. So that you're probably best off to do the physical mailer, and then do it yourself, or if you're working with a company like me, hand it off to us, and we'll take care of it from there. So once you've done that, the next one is to use the Google Business Profile. So, or I should say optimize. Yeah, let's stay on optimize. So once you've got control of the Google Business Profile, you want to go in and you want to use absolutely every part of that profile that you can. There's going to be an about section. It's 1,500 words, and use every single one of those. Use every single one of those words. I can't remember if it's 1,500 words or 1,500 characters, but it's enough that you can write a lot of good stuff about your business. And it's important that in that you are thinking of the services in mind. So we'll keep with the pest control example. If you are a pest control company, you want to use those phrases: pest control, pest elimination, whatever the different keywords are that you are targeting, termite tenting, termite fumigation, termite inspection, all of the different things that pest control companies do. Make sure that those words are in the profile, because when Google is trying to figure out if a local business is relevant to someone that's searching, that is what Google wants to be more than anything else. They want to be relevant to people that are using Google. So for them to figure out if you're a relevant business to put in front of somebody that's searching for a pest control company, they're going to go to their product. They're going to go right to their database. That's the fastest and easiest thing for them to do. They're going to look for somebody in the near longitude and latitude of wherever this person is standing, and they're going to try to find one that has stuff in their profile, like words in their profile, that match with what that person is searching for. So make sure you use those keywords in the About Us section. Then when you're going to go in, there's going to be a services section. Put all of your services in there. Don't include any services that you don't do. Make sure that those services are absolutely, if however many they allow you to have, put them in there. You want to do hours. A lot of home services companies might be 24 hours, so you can put 24 hours in there. If you're 24 emergency, that's one for AC is really popular. 24-hour emergency AC service. If that's a service that you're able to provide, definitely put that in the services, put it in your About Us profile, because that's a big one. A lot of people are searching for that. So go in, fill that out. If you have, your location, actually, for most home services business, as of the time of this recording, this changes all the time. So I'm a little bit, I'm going to go ahead and say it, but as of this recording, if you are a not location based, so if you're a home services company that is going out to service your service area, in our case, from the top of the county to the north of us, to the bottom of the county to the south of us, that you don't want to have a physical address. If you are a home services company that also has, say, for instance, some of our HVAC customers, our HVAC companies that we do business with, they have propane filling stations. And so in those cases, they probably are going to have an address in there, or they have a separate Google business profile just for their propane filling station, and that has an address, whereas the HVAC company does not. So you don't need to worry that much about the address. If you do have an address in there for whatever reason, if you're like a window treatment company and you've got a physical showroom, have the address in there, absolutely. And then just make sure that address, is matches. It used to be really, really critical that the address on your website and on everywhere that your business was mentioned online was identical. It's not the case anymore. You can have slight variations in it. Google can figure it out, but make sure it's similar. Make sure it's such that, if you're on a boulevard, you always use BLVD or always spell it out, whichever one you prefer, but always kind of try to make that stuff the same. It's not as critical as it used to be, but it's not a bad idea. You never know. So other ways, so once you've got the profile completely filled out, top to bottom, as much stuff as you can get in there. Oh, and you can have primary categories for your business and secondary categories for your business. And a lot of times there's primary and secondary. Obviously, the primary should be whatever it is that you do most of, that you're most profitable for, that what your company is known for. So put that in there. We have one HVAC company. I shouldn't even say HVAC, because they are equally HVAC, plumbing, and electrical, and propane. So they have several different sort of but categories that they're in, but they also maintain a Google business profile for each one of those verticals, which is probably a good idea if you're one of those companies that has a bunch of different services that you offer in really sort of different kind of verticals. So after that's done, kind of get that on there and posted. There's a couple of other areas that you should regularly be posting to your Google business profile that are going to help you rise up in the map pack for people that are searching for your services close to your location. The first one is the posts. You can actually put posts in your Google business profile, just like you would do on Facebook. And I feel like there is more value. Like if you only have time to do one, I feel like it's hard to say. I mean, I go back and forth on this, but I feel like if you only have time to do one, put it in your Google business profile, because that is the route, that's the funnel that people are taking when they're choosing a home services business. They might see you might get top of mind awareness on Facebook or on Instagram or something like that, but that's not usually when somebody is about to hire someone to fix their AC. They just saw a bug in their house, they need a quote on a roof. They've got an electrical problem, a plumbing problem. That journey generally starts at Google, and a lot of times it's going to start at Google Maps. And so if you're using your Google Map, you're using your Google profile to put these posts in there, that is going to help you in returning higher in that grouping for those searches for people that are near you. And one of the things that you want to do when you're doing those posts is you want to make sure that they're relevant to your business. Google now has embraced artificial intelligence like just about everybody else has. And so when you upload photography to these posts, when you upload the verbiage to the posts, it runs through AI and they analyze what it is. If you're always posting, it's okay to do like a holiday message so it seems current. You can say, Happy 4th of July or whatever it is. That's fine, but don't make that the only thing that you're posting in there. You want to absolutely have pictures of your technicians, out in the field. This is one specific one that I'll talk about in a branding podcast at some point. But if you're pest control, do not put pictures of bugs in your profile ever. If you look at the really big, national companies, they play down the whole bug side to the thing. It's mostly about service and cleanliness is the main two things that they're trying to do. The reason is because people have a negative, they just have an innate, sort of lizard brain, I call it, reaction to seeing a roach or a spider. And that you don't want that. You don't want that knee-jerk reaction associated with your brand. We onboarded a pest control company. It's still a really good client. We've had them for, I think, probably a little over a decade. And the group that we took their business from, I shouldn't say they came to us. We didn't poach them. When they came to us, they showed us what the materials that they were handing out. And I opened their brochure. This was back when you handed out brochures. This, like I said, it's been a while. They had a giant picture. I shouldn't say giant. It was, our cockroaches, our palmetto bugs down here in Central Florida are pretty big. And it had a life-size, roach in the brochure. And it was really startling when you saw it because, you have that reaction like, oh my gosh, it's a roach, and you wanted to drop the thing. And I sort of was like, oh man. And I was talking to another company. We were sitting in my conference room, and he's like, that's so funny. He's like, that's exact. He said, we often have people throw the brochure down and like scream, when they open it. And he's like, you got to stop using these things, man. Get just, I don't care how many of them you have, put them in the dumpster. This is not a good idea. So anyway, sorry to go down the rabbit hole with pest control companies, but what you want to use is pictures of your technicians, with our AC repair companies. We always ask them, hey, if you've got a tech that's in a nice looking house, or you can get a tight little shot of them with the phone. Like a lot of times there'll be multiple technicians there. And, just kind of instruct them and say, hey, if one of your guys is wearing our shirt, one of our local HVAC customers their colors are orange and blue, which we're close to the University of Florida, which is also orange and blue. So that really brands well for our area. And they've got a really nice looking logo, and it's on the back of a lot of their technician shirts. And he's in the inside unit. He's working on the air handler. I think he's got the cover off of it. And he's just doing an inspection. And the other guy that was there just took a picture of it, and we got it, and we were able to use it as a Google Business Post. And that's awesome because the artificial intelligence is able to figure out that's what that is. That's a guy working on interior, air handler unit, and they're going to say, okay, that's what those guys do. And so if somebody says, AC blowing warm, they're going to know, hey, these guys have been posting about the fact that they fix air conditioners because we can see it in their pictures, we can see it in the verbiage, and I'll talk about that in a sec. So put those pictures and those posts in there. When the verbiage, everything that you do with Google, you want to be thinking about how am I leveraging my keywords the best I can. So keep that group of keywords that we talked about at the beginning in the local SEO. When you do that research and you figure out what those keywords are, AC maintenance, AC repair, pest control, termite control, roach exterminator, whatever the different things are for your business, plantation shutters, motorized shades, outdoor awnings, electrician near me, fix a leak, plumbing repair, toilet running, whatever the different things are for your business. Make sure that you use those keywords as they are in the spreadsheet that you put together for your local SEO in the actual content of the post. That is, again, it's huge. The AI is going to read through it's going to look at the photograph, and then it's going to read through the post, and it's going to make a decision about what it is that you do. And so you want to make sure that they know, and that speaks to the reason that the one HVAC, plumbing, electrical, and propane company that we have, they actually have 4 separate Google business profiles because they want to be able to post. We want to be able to post for them for that particular service in each one. If we were posting all 4 of those services in one Google business profile, it could confuse, the algorithm to say, well, do these guys do specifically that? And it might push them down in the rankings. So it allows us to laser focus on the particular vertical that area of their business does. They're also, I think each one is a separate LLC or it's a separate business entity. So it works out anyway, so we can do each one individually like that. So always be thinking about those keywords when you're doing the Google, anything with Google Business, you want to be thinking about those keywords. Another great place to get keywords is if you get a review from somebody. It is very uncommon for a person when they're leaving a review for a home services company to say what the service was that they got done. They will often say, You all did a great job. You answered the phone right away. You send a technician out in a couple of hours, and we had our problem solved. It's very unusual for people to actually use what the home service is that they're reviewing when they leave a positive review. So they might say, hey, we called, you guys got out in a couple of hours. The technician was super professional. They did a really, really good job. They cleaned up after they were done, and we could not be more satisfied. 5 stars. We're telling all of our neighbors how great a job you guys did. That is an awesome review, but nowhere does it say anything that it could have been plumber, it could have been electrician, it could have been AC, it could have been landscaping, it could have been, well, it's probably not landscaping. You're not gonna call an emergency landscaping thing, and they're not gonna be able to get a couple of hours. But HVAC, plumbing, electrical, all 3 of those things would be that kind of thing. So it doesn't say which one it is. So another great place for you to get those keywords in your Google Business Profile is to respond to the reviews that are in there and say, hey, we really appreciate you calling us for your AC repair. We know how uncomfortable it is in Florida in August when your AC goes out. So we glad we were able to get out there, and it was a simple fix, and we got you back up in your home. You got your AC working again. Thanks for calling your business here. The company that I'm thinking of right now is Cunningham. Thanks for using us for your AC repair service. And that's what you're going to type in that response. You're going to need to be thinking about those keywords all the time. So if AC repair service or AC repair company, thanks for choosing us as your AC repair company. You don't have to use your business name all the time in there, because obviously that's attached. You can, if you want to, but basically you definitely want to get those keywords in there. Go through, if you've got 100 reviews, if you got 10 reviews, do it. If you got 50 reviews, you respond to each one. And I don't care if they're 3 years old or 5 years old or 10 years old. Once you've claimed that thing, you are able to respond to those reviews. Go click reviews. There's going to be respond to this review in there. Click it. Google likes you responding, so much so that after you've finished responding, or at least right now, this is the way it works. I don't know if it's going to work this way forever, but right now, after you finish responding to one review, if you have another 20 reviews that have not been responded to, it does not matter how old they are. They'll say, it says something like, great job. Do you want to keep going? And you click yes, and it just brings up the next review, and you can respond to it. Brings up the next review, you can respond to it. The one thing that is tempting when you're doing this, especially if you're doing 25 in a row, because it can get kind of monotonous, is do not copy paste. You want these things to look, like they are specifically responding to the review that you are responding to. And the reason is because it doesn't look natural. It looks like you're astroturfing there's a sort of a phrase for that kind of thing where it's like, it doesn't seem genuine. And, people really feel like they're getting gamed online, and have for the last, I don't know how long. And so they're having a genuine feel to your Google Business Profile, that it actually sounds like a person that actually is saying thank you for responding. And you are. You should do this. That's critical in getting that message across and getting your keywords in at the same time. So think about just try to type it, or if you're terrible typist, type up a bunch of them. You can have them in a Word doc, but just mix it up a little bit, change them from review to review. If it's just a 5-star review and you don't know exactly what service you provided, don't guess. Just say, hey, thank you so much for the 5-star review. We really appreciate you using us. And if your business name has keywords in it, your XYZ air conditioning and heating, or XYZ pest control, or XYZ electrician, put your business name in there. There's value there because you're getting keywords in the form of your business name, which is super, super great. But the key is keywords. You want to get those keywords in that profile. You want them in there as much as possible. They got to be natural, though. You don't want to stuff them in there. You don't want to have a bullet list of all your different things. You have to naturally respond to the thing. And it is a bit of a pain. I agree. If you're thinking that right now, which I don't know, I sort of am. there's value in doing it, and so it's worth doing. Just, get your favorite beverage and sit down and put on your headphones and just start clacking away at those reviews, because there's really a lot of value in it. So I think that's most of it on the Google Business Profile. Oh, there's one more thing that you can do on Google Business Profile. You can post pictures to it, just pictures. They don't have to have verbiage with them or anything like that. Again, use pictures that are relevant to the services that you want to sell. But the other thing that you can do with them is you can include, there's like metadata that goes along with images online that include longitude and latitude. A lot of times when you take a picture with your phone, it includes it anyway. We get pictures from our clients all the time, from their guys out in the field, and we'll run it through some software that we use to put the longitude and latitude in it if it's not already there. Sometimes it's already there. Like we had one the other day. They sent us about 15 pictures, and I think about 6 of them already had the physical location. The software that we use, we drag them into the software, and it shows where all the things are on the map. And then it also shows the ones that don't have a location recorded, and so we just drag those to like the center of the county or the physical location. The one that I'm thinking of, I think, was a window treatment company, and so they actually do have a showroom, and so we just dragged it to their showroom location because it helps burnish that in the Google Business Profile that they have a physical location that they want to drive customers to. So, but yeah, if you can figure out how the software, I think the software we use to do that is Lightroom. It comes from Adobe. There's probably others out there that'll do it. We just have that package, and Lightroom comes as a part of it, so we use that one. It doesn't end up making it out into Google. So if you ever see a photo out there and you're curious about where it was taken, and you download it and try to figure out what this metadata is, it's probably been stripped out. Certainly Google and all the different social media things strip it out for privacy purposes, but it is likely Google is a data company. It's likely that they are actively looking at that stuff before they strip it out. They say, okay, this is where this location was taken. They'd be crazy not to, honestly. So those are the areas I think that you can sort of leverage your Google Business Profile to get in those near me and those municipality searches. So number 3 on how do I advertise my home service is make sure that you have a website that's built to convert visitors to customers. We see this all the time. The pest control company that I was talking about, that we've been with about a decade now, when we first started working with them, we were just doing digital marketing for them using the existing website that they had. And I was uncomfortable doing that because I didn't think it was going to work, because their website just was not going to convert users to customers. So we went ahead and did it against my better judgment, and at the beginning, we almost immediately started sending traffic to the website, and we were seeing a huge bounce rate, and their phone was not ringing, and nobody was filling out the form on the site. And it's because the site just was not built to convert. It didn't have any of the things that it should have. And so we talked them into, hey, let us redo this website. And it also did not search engine optimize that well to begin with, so we really weren't that concerned about pulling that out. But I should say, we have websites that we've deployed that are search engine optimized, and when it's time to update the website, just because it's a newer framework, the thing's been around for 3 or 4 years, and it's just time because it's a security issue or whatever it is, we can transition that from one website to the other without any drop off in traffic. Or if there is a drop off in traffic, it's very, very short. We're talking about like a week or 2. Typically, there's no drop off at all. We have a whole plan where we map out what the URLs are going to be and stuff like that. So if your website search engine optimizes right now, it used to be sort of the thinking, don't change it. That's not the case anymore. We can transition you into a nice new modern looking website that's responsive and everything, and not lose any of your current SEO, that you've been working on for the last however long. So anyway, so we talked this customer into doing it. And almost immediately, he started seeing the results because the website, the advertising didn't change at all. We were doing the same stuff. We were targeting the same keywords. We were using the same ads, same everything. We were running a combination of search, display, and remarketing as well, which I'll probably cover in another episode. It was night and day. So it really speaks to how important it is to have a good experience, that the user has a good experience when they get to the website. So what I think the 3 main things are is the site's got to be fast. It's got to be responsive. It's got to have a clickable phone number right up top, right? So if they get there, they see you, they need to be able to click on that phone number if they're on a mobile device, and that it's going to generate a call, and they click it and they're talking to you. It needs to have pictures of your actual staff on it. A lot of people get a little bit squeamish about that. They don't like having their pictures online. I cannot tell you how major a thing this is when it comes to home services businesses. People want to know that you are a legit person and that you are in their community. The pest control company, to stick with them, he's got a picture of him and his wife on the front because it's a family owned business, and he's had people actually mention when they call him, hey, you seem like a good family owned business. That was one of the reasons we wanted to do business with you, and that is critical to connecting with people. I understand the staff doesn't want to have their picture on there. We actually did do a photo shoot with the staff, and the staff almost to a person, they were like, no, we don't want our pictures on the website. But the owner and his wife were they were happy to do it, and we got a professional photographer out there, took a really, really nice picture of them. And it converts, having that picture on there, plus a great message that's customer focused. You shouldn't be talking that much about your business. You need to be talking a lot about what your business can do to solve the problem that customer is trying to solve with their search. But have those pictures of you. The actual pictures of your vehicles are really great as opposed to stock photography. One of the things with stock photography, and I see this all the time with clients that we take over from when we're redoing their website, somebody will have just used whatever photography that's on the stock photo sites, and that you can use some of it. It's fine. I mean, it's almost impossible to build out a site without using some stock photography. But the stock photography of home services technicians, a lot of times, because stock photography is so inexpensive now, it used to be it cost you $300 or $400 just to get a single photo. That's how long I go back in this business. Now it's nothing. It's pennies to get a photo, and it's almost impossible for a photographer that's working in the United States to really make any money selling stock photography. And so what has happened is it's all gone offshore, and it's gone to to like Eastern Europe. And so you've got these it's a guy in the Czech Republic, or it's a guy in Bulgaria or something like that. And they just dress different. They have different standards of requirements. You'll have an AC technician working inside a house wearing a hard hat and green overalls or orange overalls or something like that. That's probably perfectly natural if you're in whatever country that's in, but it's not something that you see, certainly in the areas that I see service technicians. I'm pretty sure anywhere in the United States, there's not a whole lot of guys working on a mini split with a yellow hard hat wearing green overalls. I mean, it's just very, very strange. And people pick up on that. It's a subconscious thing, and it just does not make you look like a legit local business. And if they get a little bit of an inkling that I'm not so sure about these guys, they'll click that back button and they'll go to the next guy on the list, and they'll go to them. So once you've got them to the website, you've worked so hard for all the other stuff that you've done, make sure that website is going to convert them. So again, it's a clickable phone number. It's at least one or two photographs of your actual owner or staff or trucks or something. Your physical location, if that's appropriate. An easy to use contact form. If you are big enough to have somebody monitoring a chat, like a little chat widget, that's a really great way to do it. Those are the main. Oh, and then a customer focused message. Don't talk about all about you and stuff. There's a place for that. I mean, one of our HVAC companies has been in business since like 1925 or something like that. They're coming up on their 100-year anniversary. They obviously weren't HVAC back then. They were a fuel oil company, but they were still home heating back then. And so that's great. We have a whole page dedicated to the history of the company. We've got a picture of their original facility. It's out on the Halifax River, because their fuel oil was delivered by barge. It's really cool to have that kind of history. But we don't lead with that. We lead with, hey, we're going to solve your AC repair problem. We're going to get out to you fast. We're going to be super, prompt. In the case of a lot of home services companies, also that message typically is, we're going to be nice, and we're going to be professional. We're going to get to you quickly, and we're gonna do an honest job that is, we're not trying to sell you anything that you don't need. So even if you're sending a salesperson, out, a salesperson / technician out to make an assessment of an electrical or plumbing or HVAC or whatever the different problems are, in most of all of the companies that we work with, they're not going to try to upsell that customer. They're going to just try to make sure that they get the best solution to the problem, and that's how you get repeat business, and you get referrals and things like that. And so that's really it's an important thing to do, and that's what people want to know. And so those are kind of the main things that we're gonna answer the phone. We're gonna be really polite. We're gonna get there quick, and we're gonna do an honest assessment of what your problem is and try to get it fixed as quickly as possible. Particularly if it's AC or plumbing, they want to know that it's going to get done quick. Possibly electrical too, depending on what the problem is. So those things, consider those when you're writing that content, or hire someone like us to write it. If you are currently, I should say, working with a company that's like redoing your website or something like that, and you kind of stumbled across this podcast because you're looking, hey, are they doing a good job, or are they checking the right boxes? If they have you writing any content at all, if you can get out of that contract, get out of it, because you should not be doing it. It is so critical. Our content creators now, they are writing the content to satisfy the needs of the customer. So it's helpful. It solves whatever problem is that they're searching for, but it is also search engine optimized. And so they're actually using a grading engine while they're typing these articles. They're using a grading engine that is telling them, hey, you've got to do these things for this thing to work well in a search engine. That's not something that your typical contractor is going to, that you're going to really want to do, even if you have some really good writer in your office, that's a customer service rep or something. It's very unlikely that they're going to know how to write search engine optimized content. So basically, when we work with a company to do their website, to do their digital marketing, it is going to be like, we're going to get it done quick, and we're going to get it done top to bottom. All of your services, all your locations, are all going to be in there. It's all going to be search engine optimized, and we're going to get it done fast, because we want to get that site live so that we can then start generating the phone calls that are going to make you keep us, and we're going to have a good retention record, which we have an awesome retention record. I think I don't remember what it is, but it's in the 90s, I think, as far as, clients that on board and stay with us. We have clients that have been with us for, 15 years. So, all right. So that is, having a website that's built to convert. Google Ads, that's number 4 in how do I advertise my home service. Google Ads are still really, really solid way to get someone with a that's looking for your service. You don't have to spend a ton of money. You really should probably hire a professional, because it is easy to waste money in a Google ad campaign if you don't know how to optimize it and you don't know how to target particular keywords. We usually do 2 different kinds of ads to start out, particularly with a newer company or a company that's kind of just getting online. They will do search ads, obviously. So whatever the service is near me, or the different services that they provide. But then we'll also do some display ads, and we're going to run the display ads for a while. The little banner advertising that you see when you're playing a game on your phone, or you see it over your favorite news site, or whatever the different websites you are go throughout the day. We might do it on social media as well. And it's just going to be, branding them as sort of top of mind awareness. And what we see when you do that correctly, in the first 3 months, you're going to see them showing up a lot with most of the traffic that goes to the website is going to be, it's going to be searches for keywords, AC repair near me, pest control service, best pest control near me, best plumber, 24-hour plumber, 24-hour electrician. That's mostly what it can be, but mostly what it's going to be. But at that 3-month mark, typically we start seeing branded searches, and that's when they're searching for the company by name, XYZ Pest Control phone number, and that is typically the display advertising and the remarketing advertising is working. That once they're ready to make the purchasing decision, they have already decided that it's going to be you, and also it has value that when they see you in search results and in Google Maps, they recognize you, and that has a huge conversion. That is a huge factor on conversion. If they recognize the name, they're much more likely to click through into your listing and go through that funnel that ends up with a phone call for you, getting the service call. So you definitely want to look at Google Ads, but I absolutely recommend. Google has tried to roll out some sort of consumer friendly products, but I can tell you I've gone through all of them, and they are super complicated. And if you don't have them optimized right, it's really, really easy to just blow your entire budget and not really generate any phone calls. So, call a company like us. We'd love to talk to you and see how we can help you out with that. We definitely run them though, because that is one of the first ways where we can get you in front of a customer that's searching for your services, the next day with Google Ads. And for search engine optimization and Google Business Profile, it's typically going to take a little bit longer. Okay, so number 5 on how do I advertise my home service is leverage social media. So this one, again, it does not work within the funnel specifically, that people are going down when they have a problem. Your refrigerator is making a funny noise, your AC is making a funny noise, or you got a leak or whatever it is. That journey probably starts at Google. But to speak to the recognition thing, that's what social media is really good for, is getting your brand out and your values out in front of these potential customers where they are online. Social media is great for that. If you're doing the posts on your Google Business Profile, which I think qualifies as social media as well, but I think it's a really good one because it mixes in the commercial and transactional intent. If you're doing those, just take those and put them over on Facebook as well, and then Instagram and whatever else you're doing on a social media front. It's a pretty quick way to get 3 things, I shouldn't say 3 things, however many social media you're doing. I think personally it starts at Google Business Profile. Then I think you put it on Facebook and Instagram and the different ones. Instagram, if you post to Instagram and you have those things linked up, you can actually automatically post to Facebook, so it's a little bit easier. So I think that's a really good one. I think that's mostly what we use the social media for. You can do the boosted posts and things like that. I think there's a lot of value in them. It changes all the time, and it changes a lot from vertical. So I'll just kind of leave it at that. If you're not sure, give us a call or go to our website, drivegroupllc.com, and fill out the form, and we can get together and talk about what we think is going to work best for you. So let's go on to number 6 on how to be active on Nextdoor, or how do I advertise my home service? Be active on Nextdoor. If you can, check in on Nextdoor on a regular basis and just see what people are saying about your business, or if people in your neighborhood are saying, hey, can you recommend an XYZ contractor for this problem? Get out there and say, hey, I was just saying one of our clients' names, but I work for a service company that provides that service, and we would love to work with you. There's a lot of people out on Nextdoor. It is not the first place that we start, because it's I don't exactly know kind of where Nextdoor is going or what it's going to look like from a there's been a lot of, I think we all know companies that were working with home services companies that were great when they started and then really kind of went downhill. And I don't know what's going to happen with Nextdoor, but if you can be on there organically and it's not too much of trouble for you to do it, I know that our home services companies that do it, they do get some business from it, but not, it's a fraction of what they get from local SEO, Google Business Profile, a high converting website, and Google Ads. Those way outpace everything else. So number 7 on how do I advertise my home services: have trucks that stand out and have a phone number on the top half of the vehicle. I talk about this. I have a book on marketing, on home services marketing, that I can send a copy to you if you get on you schedule a meeting with me, schedule a strategy session, and I'll send you a copy. If you can have your truck stand out at all, we have a local home services company that early on in their business, they picked out a very odd color for their trucks. It's a yellow that, it's not a bad looking yellow, but it's not a yellow that's a standard yellow. I think it's actually a mix of 2 colors, and they know what those two, those 2 formulas are, or that formula is from those 2 colors. So they can provide it to a different painting contractor if for whatever reason they have to go to somebody different, or it's like, I know in one case, some of their big box trucks, they can't paint at their regular place because they just don't have a stall big enough for them. So they have to take them to someplace else. They also do propane. And so they had these giant propane tanks on their property to do the propane filling. They painted those at the factory. And so they were able to give them the formula. I cannot tell you, I do presentations on these guys from a branding standpoint. Having just a moment of recognition for your company as somebody's going about their day in traffic is huge from a standpoint of top of mind awareness when they're getting ready to do something online. So if they're getting, like we said, if you're in that top 3 in the map pack, if you are in the top and above the fold in Google search results, if they recognize your name, they are far more likely to click on it and give you that vetting of, am I going to call this company? We have multiple AC contractors here in our local area. We have the most that we take. We actually don't do this anymore, but we have 3 HVAC contractors in our local area, and they all referred us to each other. They're all very close. They're all very different sizes too. One's a 3 million, one's a 7 million, one's a 13 or 14 million. And so they're okay with us working with those 3, but they would not be okay with us working with anybody else. But I can tell you, because we have that kind of unique experience where our geographic area is looking for AC contractors, we see the same request come through their website often for all 3 of them within minutes of each other. So, I can speak to that in a second. Well, I'll speak to that. Be responsive, right? So it's like over half the time, if you're the first person that responds to them, they're going to do business with you. And so if you get a form filled through the website or you get a chat functionality, you want to immediately try to jump on that and reach out to them, call them, get them on the phone within 5 minutes if at all possible. But when people see those names in their search, because all 3 of these guys have very well branded vehicles driving around town, they're going to be more likely to click on them because they recognize that name. They're like, oh, they got that yellow truck, or they got that orange truck, they have that blue truck. They all have really nice looking logos. And I cannot overstate. It's kind of old school. I mean, we do a lot, like almost entirely digital marketing, but we also will design your trucks, we'll design wraps for you and stuff like that. And we can work with a sign shop installer in your area to make sure that they get the files that they need and stuff like that. This is a really, really great way. One of these customers has a box truck. And it's not the yellow guys, it's the orange guys. And we wrap that thing like a billboard. And when they, just on the box, the rest of it's white with cut vinyl lettering to save on cost, because it's really expensive to wrap the entire box truck. And probably not worth it, because the rest of the truck, there's just not that much real estate. Just leave it whatever color and just put some nice looking logos on it. That thing, they get a billboard in whatever neighborhood they're in. And so we have some really desirable neighborhoods around here. We're a really fast, Florida right now is, I think, the fastest growing state in the country or something. We have a ton of people coming into our area. We have several new, subdivisions that are going up with thousands and thousands of homes in them. And there's no billboards in there. But when these guys roll in there with that box truck to do an install, they get a billboard on that street for 6 hours or something like that. So you gotta grab that. We have an electrician here locally that got a really, really nice contract for a car wash that was going in on the main state road that comes into our town. And I should say it comes into our town. It was this main state road kind of becomes a surface road, and so he was right in town. And he took an extra truck. He had a really good looking, really noticeable truck. And he talked I saw him at lunch one day, and I asked him if this was what he had done, and it was. He had asked the owner of the business, can I bring an extra truck and can I just park it at the front of your property while we're doing the electrical build out on this thing? And the guy was like, yeah, sure, I got no problem with that. So he took his oldest truck, that looked decent, and the one that said he didn't really care if it was out of service because it already had a couple 100,000 miles on it or whatever, and he stuck it out at the farthest out space, parked it so that you could read it coming and going past this business. And every other contractor that was working on that thing was tucked way back by the building, and you could not read any of the stuff. And his was sitting right out front. And I asked him, he's like, oh my gosh, I can't believe how many phone calls that generated. Just having that truck, I got my own little billboard on State Road 40 for, I think he was working on that project for at least 2 months. It might have been 3 months. And he got a free billboard. He got free advertising there. So recognize that that's what your vehicles are. They don't have to be super busy. I argue that they shouldn't be super busy. You don't have to list every single one of your services on there unless there's something that you do that people might not think of. If you're a landscaping company, everybody knows that you're going to be doing, and if you don't do cutting, then specifically say landscaping only. But most like landscaping and lawn service companies, they're going to do lawns. They're going to do monthly lawn service. They're also going to do mulch. They're going to do rock. If you're in a colder area, you might do winter related stuff. We don't have any of that in Florida. We don't have snow or anything like that. You don't have to bullet point every single thing you do. Just put landscaping. If you're an electrician, you don't have to do. I see them with like 30 bullet points, from light switches to dishwashers. It's crazy. You don't have to do that. Just put electrician. People are going to figure it out. If you're residential, commercial, obviously that's a different story. You want to put that on there. But have trucks that stand out, and then have that phone number above, like up where people can see it. I see it all the time where it's down on the bottom quarter panel, and I'm next to them in traffic, and I can't even read it down there. And so it might sound silly, but that's just, have the phone number up where people can see it. If you have a reasonable URL that's not super long, put that up there as well. All right. So number 8 on how do I advertise my home service. So do direct mail in your local area. This is a funny one, but this is a great way for you to get back in front of people that you've already done business with. It's so much easier to get business from a customer that's already done business with you. So if you're trying to renew a termite bond, for instance, send a direct mail out. If you have AC maintenance is something that's profitable for you, send a monthly or an annual reminder out, or twice a year reminder out that says, hey, it's time for your service again. These are really great ways for you to generate top of mind awareness with people that already know, like, and trust you and are probably going to do business with you. And those are the easiest ones, to get and to generate new business from. Let's see. Number 9 in how do I advertise my home service is hand out business cards to everyone. I know that this is silly. You think, oh my God, business cards, they just throw it right in the trash. That is largely true, unless they happen to need your services, at that exact moment. But that's not the reason you hand out the business card. So the act of handing someone a business card, it takes them, if you're like a networking event through like the local chamber or, whatever it is, and they somebody says, oh, hi, I'm so-and-so. Most people are thinking about themselves and their business, and they're thinking about anything other than you. They're kind of on autopilot a lot of the time. Handing them that business card can just get them out of that sort of loop, just for just a split second. And that is long enough often, excuse me. And that is often long enough. And that is often long enough for them to just have a slight connection with your brand and make them more likely to recognize you in search results when they see you and when they're going down that funnel to hire you. So number 10 in how do I advertise my home service? Network with other home services companies that provide complementary services. So if you're an HVAC company and you don't do electrical and you don't do plumbing, if you're an HVAC company and you don't do electrical, obviously if you're doing something that requires 220 at a place in the house that's never had 220 before, you're going to have to hire an electrician. So try to work with electricians that do that sort of thing. I know our pest control companies that don't have a tent, they don't do tent fumigations themselves. They have a contractor that they work with. Well, that contractor doesn't do monthly pest control service, and so he just does tents. And so working with companies like that We have one of our pest control companies does lawn spray service. So they do fertilizing and like weed and insect control in your lawn. They reach out to lawn services and say, hey, if this isn't something that you're doing, but they're like, lawn service guys will notice. I know one of our lawn services, one of his complaints that he often has from customers is that he's scalping the grass, that, oh, your guys are cutting it too short. And that's not the case. It's the problem is that they have, say, for instance, some kind of an invasive, like there's a bug it's making the grass brown in that spot, or they have there's a dry spot from their sprinklers. He can absolutely say, you know what, I think one of your sprinklers is done, and he can hand them a business card or give them the contact information from the sprinkler company that he works with. If it's an issue with fertilizing or with an invasive or an insect or something, he can give them the pest control and say, hey, you know what, I think that's a chinch bug. And call XYZ Pest Control. They do a great job at that. So working with other home services companies that are providing complementary services to yours, if there's some overlap, if you're, say for instance, you're a window treatment company, get with a painter, get with an interior designer, interior decorator, and say, hey, these are, somebody's painting their house. They maybe just moved in there and they want to put in plantation shutters, and they call that guy out, and he could end up referring you a $50,000 job, So try to figure out what those complementary other home services companies are, and and see if you can work with them to and obviously you're gonna probably refer them as well. Same thing. If you're a lawn spray company and you notice that the lawn's kind of shaggy and that they're not doing a good job edging and blowing and all the different things that they should be doing, or you see a sprinkler head that's shot, you've got somebody to refer back to them. So it's a win-win for everybody. So that is the 10th one on the list for how do I advertise my home service company. And that's pretty much all I have to say about that. I hope you've enjoyed the podcast. I appreciate you listening to it. If you were interested in seeing if we can help you increase your profitability and help you grow your business, that is absolutely our passion. We love working with home services companies and helping them grow and making more money and having a better quality of life and having happier employees and all of the different things. That is what really gives us the most satisfaction and why we do what we do. So if you are interested in having us talk and getting with me and finding out if this is something that we can do for you, I would love to have that conversation. Go to the website drivegroupllc.com and fill out the contact form and get in touch and we'll set up an appointment to figure out what we can do for you. Again, thanks for listening today, and I hope to talk to you soon.